Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance. So sit back, relax and enjoy some satisfying stories. Don't come in on Monday. I used to work in a small family-owned industrial factory which employed about a dozen people. The bosses all knew that I was studying at university part-time and needed to take a couple of days off for exams each year. I told the foreman that I needed to take Friday off for one of these exams. He spoke to one of the owners and came back to me with an answer. Despite my ongoing insistence that there was no alternative for me other than to sit the exam on Friday, he informed me, "You need to decide. If you are not going to come in on Friday, don't bother coming in on Monday." I thanked him for his understanding, then got back to work. I sat my exam on Friday. Just as he suggested, I also took Monday off. I strolled in on Tuesday, went to my station, and started preparation for the day ahead. The foreman walked past about 5 minutes later and did a double take. "Where the heck have you been?" he asked. I explained to him that I sat my exam on Friday, that it went well, and again thanked him for telling me not to come in on Monday. His jaw fell open in disbelief. He shook his head, then walked away. Wow, that guy was really expecting it to work in his favor, wasn't it? Ooh, if I tell him that, he won't dare go to his exam on Friday. If you don't like it, go home. As a teen, I worked in a local hotel as a barman. This hotel had 2 bars, back to back, with a shared service area between. One night, I was rostered in the bar where there was live music, and the assistant manager was in the other, only 2 of us on. It wasn't the busy part of the season. I liked the music bar because music, and the other bar was a bit stuffy with people who were a bit snobbish. This night, the assistant manager pulled rank and told me that I had to work in the non-music bar, and I really didn't want to. I tried to point out that I was rostered in the music side and he didn't care. He could see that I was ticked off and said, "Well, if you don't like it, you can always go home." So I did. Next night, the bar manager asked me where I was, that the other guy had been run-ragged all night. I told him the story word for word with a smile. He laughed his butt off and I got on with my shift. Again, a pretty similar story, it's just a perfect malicious compliance. Dad needs help with the bills. Can you give him some money every paycheck? My best friend's younger brother is kind of a piece of work. He ended up maliciously complying in a very douchebag way, so I am by no means praising his actions, but it definitely fits here. He lives with his dad, by the way. In response to the title, he said, "Yeah, sure." For the next few weeks, he paid his dad some small amount of money from his paychecks. It helped, but he suddenly stopped doing it. His older brother ends up asking him, "Hey, dad still needs help with the bills. Please give him money from your paychecks." "Okay," he says. Next payday comes and still no money to give. "Hey, what's up? You said you would help dad out and you still haven't given him any money." He says back, "I have been getting paid in cash lately. I have no paychecks to give money from." My best friend just about lost it to him, to say the least. I don't know what to think of that because it does fit the subreddit, but it's kind of like, ugh. Signing you up for the wrong insurance that will cost you way too much because you want me to. Some info. This is health insurance here in a nutshell. Adults who are 18 plus pay. Children do not. Children on the insurance policy with multiple adults get a free copy of the best insured adults insurance. Mandatory basic insurance, additional extra insurance is not mandatory. I used to work at a health insurance company for a while at the customer service branch in Europe, and one of my tasks was to sign people up for new insurances or change their existing insurance. No biggie. There was no commission involved or anything, we just got paid hourly, so it didn't matter if I signed you up for the El Extremo package or the simplest El Cheapo. The company just wanted us to sign people up for what suited them best. Anyway, here you have two types of health insurance, a standard mandatory one and the extra one. The mandatory one covers GP, medicine, hospital, etc., emergency care mostly. The extra one covers dental, physical therapy, glasses, some alternative stuff like homeopathy and acupuncture, and other stuff like braces and maternity care. Now, we had a package called Family Package, which covered braces for kids and all kinds of stuff regarding pregnancy and postnatal care that was not completely in the basic one. This was also the most expensive because it catered to both the adult that signed up for the package and the children on the insurance. The package was only useful in two situations. Number 1, you are pregnant and want all costs covered. Number 2, you have kids who are younger than 18 with braces. We did not have a selection or anything, so anyone could just sign up and use the cover for braces. Other insurance companies had a 2-year wait or refused you. People often assumed the family name meant the entire family, mum, dad, and kids, all had to have the same package. This is not the case. Usually the advice would be, which of the two adults needs the additional stuff the most? He or she will use the family package and the kids benefit. The other parent takes a cheaper package. On to the situation. Customer calls and wants a family package for his entire fam. Him, his wife, an over 18 kid, and 2 kids younger than 18. I go through the spiel of explaining that not everybody needs this package, and it will cost him a lot more to sign up 3 adults for the entire year than just 1 and have the other 2 choosing better suited packages. I did an intake and the over 18 kid did not need anything. No, I want my family to be insured exactly the same, so that there is no difference between us. That's not really necessary because not everyone has the same illnesses, and it will cost you. I want it done like this or we are switching. Okay, have it your way. Customer's monthly bill ran somewhere in the 500 euros, whilst he could have chosen something much less at around 300 to 400. Well, he did ask for it and he got it, so yeah. My dad, honestly. I've been lurking here for a bit, enjoying reading the posts of various people's malicious compliances, when I saw a few posts that suddenly reminded me of a story my dad told me back when I was about 8 or 9. My dad has always been the kind of person that does exactly what you told him to. Malicious compliance, of course, as well as a pretty funny, all-out friendly guy. So the story is set probably right around 1987, something like that, when he's eating dinner with his mum, dad, sister, and quite possibly his older half-sister as well. His sister, my Aunt Sarah, was causing problems at the dinner table, being rude and cheeky when my dad started up as well, the mouthy kind of person that he is. Anyway, my grandma was already dealing with Sarah, and she did not want to have to deal with him as well. So she bluntly and quite frankly told him to get your butt in your room. Of course, when he was told this, he immediately goes to his room, like requested. But instead of going into the bedroom, my dad just stuck his butt in the doorway of his room and called down smartly, "I've got my butt in my room. You only said my butt, so just my butt is in my room." Needless to say, his mum was not at all happy with that, and he got in trouble. But I say it was well worth it, don't you? This person's dad was literally pulling a dad joke before they were a dad. One popcorn. So this is a story that my grandma told me about my late uncle. Quick context, the school I went to was very small and classes would take turns on certain fundraising activities to keep things fair and give everyone chance to earn money as a class. One of these was running the concession stand at football and basketball games. The class running the concessions would get a portion of the profits. When my uncle was in high school, he was manning the concession stands with another classmate and my grandmother as the supervising adult. A man walked up to the counter and slammed his hands down, looking annoyed. "I need 1 popcorn." My uncle, being a generally easygoing guy, answered the man with a nod and asked, "Just 1 popcorn?" "Yes, that's what I said, 1 popcorn." "Alright, if you insist." He turns back to the popcorn machine and pulls out a single piece of popcorn, then turns back to the man and sets it on the counter in front of him. "There you go, sir, 1 popcorn." The man stared at the piece of popcorn for a few seconds and then just started laughing his rear off. Everyone else chuckled as well, and my uncle then got him an actual bag of popcorn. Not quite as malicious as some of the other stories, but I thought it was cute and technically fit here. You see, that right there is what we like to see, a compliance that took the guy from a bad mood to a good mood in seconds. Triple malicious compliance. I listen to music at work through a Bluetooth speaker linked to my phone. A couple of days ago, my line manager comes in and tells me to turn the speaker off. I complained a little but agree and turn the speaker off. This is when I got a malicious compliance idea. He said the speaker needed to be turned off. So I put my phone up to the worktop and play music through the speakers instead. Manager comes back around a little later and asks what I'm doing. He's already told me to turn the music off. I am 100% sure he only told me to turn the speaker off. So I asked him to clarify that it was in fact the music that was the problem. He very clearly said that I was not to play music in my workspace. Here comes the next malicious compliance idea. Next time he walks into my workspace, he looks astounded that my speaker is back on the worktop. It wasn't loud, but he knew something was playing through it. He said something like, "What did I tell you before?" I reminded him that he specifically told me that I was not to play music and that he even clarified what he meant. Then explained that I'm not listening to music, I'm listening to a podcast. With a defeated look on his face, he tells me that I knew what he meant and that he doesn't mind me playing music, but his manager, the store manager, had made him ask me to turn it off. Here comes my favorite part of the story. I asked my line manager if singing was permitted, and he says, of course. So I wait for the store manager to get within earshot. He was doing a store walk with the deputy manager and starts singing at a volume I really wasn't comfortable singing at. I see him looking over, giving me a filthy look. He is the type of guy that won't actually get into confrontation himself, so he sends in the deputy to see if I am singing along to quiet music. Deputy manager comes in and tries his best to have some friendly chat and opens the conversation with, "Oh, you must be happy singing away out here." I turn to him and say, "Slaves used to sing while they worked in the fields. Didn't mean they were happy." Turn back around and continue doing my work. Deputy manager awkwardly chuckled and walked away. The store manager hasn't even looked at me since. Well then, that must have been a very awkward laugh from the deputy manager, just going, "Aha, aha, oh." Karen says making a paper pumpkin is mandatory, so I made one. Went to a friend's toddler's birthday and one of the mums, Karen, set up a craft station for the kids to make paper pumpkins. Karen comes around to some of us adults and insists we make a pumpkin, which we politely decline. Later, she comes back again saying it was for her kids' school. We again decline and someone tells me the school is collecting pumpkins for something or another, and her kid gets a prize if he brings in the most. The third time, she comes around yielding all the creation supplies, and I said fine, I'd make one. Her face was so triumphant until she came back later and saw my beauty. She was sadly not impressed and would not take it. Her loss. I've got to say, I was expecting something crude or something, but I like that. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.